Welcome to another Founder Wisdom Pod with João Fouad. He is founder at two companies. One is Highline Marketing, the other is Highline Venture Builder. We're going to talk about Ironmans. We're going to talk about startups. We're going to talk about crypto, AI, everything in between. Before we do, this podcast is brought to you by podpar.com. That is my podcasting company. If you want to start, scale, be invited to podcasts like this one. If you want to find sponsors, if you want to build a community, get clients, and just get smarter from speaking to a bunch of CEOs and founders, podcasting I found is the best way to do that. So podpire.com, if you need help, that is my podcasting agency. We can book you as much as 100 meetings per week in your calendar if you're all about that. So podpire.com. Joao, welcome to the pod. Can you tell me a bit more about yourself and about your companies?
Yeah, 100%, Charles. Thanks for having me here today. It's Sunday, so it's not everybody who is willing to stop and listen and chat by that time. But here we are. So yeah, I guess in a way we have a lot of common as we were talking before. To me, entrepreneurship is about getting risk, and of course, you need the courage. And I think you need to kind of get this call of I'm not finding myself here. So it's kind of a ceiling to get move on. So when it's like a lot of people ask me like why do you become an entrepreneur? I mean like I look at your life, you work sometimes like 16, 14 hours a day, and why? So actually I always answer that like why not? Because I couldn't find myself in other like daily jobs, like common ones where I actually open the laptop and like, okay, have everything structured. So I guess in a way I become an entrepreneurship because I always wanted to seek the new. So also that becomes the Iron Man. Also that is the same drive, that rebel drive, I guess, to break the status quo and create this kind of world that we dream. Because at the end of the day, it's not the government, it's not the country that you were born that create your reality. It's your own actions and feelings. So that's the reason I started the entrepreneurship way. At the beginning, it was a marketing agency, as you speak just a moment ago. It's about leads, it's about contact, it's about meeting. So everything needs to be sell. And I discovered that from like really, really along. I mean, if you look at this, like books there and books everywhere. So since the beginning of my life, 6 years old, more books. I have always been this kind of seeker. So I started with highline marketing, and then after that, I just kind of get so like inside to my clients, and I know have been there where you change the price of everything. You look to the finance, you look to the product, you look to the future of the company. So I kind of became partner of them, and then I opened the Highline Ventures, who is this startup builder, as a venture builder as we are, of new possibilities, always in marketing and technology. So yeah, now our goals is how the AI can help marketing. How can we live in the data? Finally, because I have been seeking that for 10 years, I guess. Like, how can I use data for sure, more than only my feelings? So nowadays, that's what I'm doing here right now.
And how old are you?
27, Charles.
So very young and very ambitious. What are your life goals? What do you want to accomplish in this life?
Well, I guess I mean if I get my list, well, you achieved one of my goals 3 times, the Ironman, definitely. And if you look to like this, and I want to hear more about that after, like why three, why not only one, and why not four?
I can answer
But
that just
yeah,
real
do it.
quick. It's not the number that matters. It's the first one was a 70.3 in Cabo San Lucas. The second one was in Cozumel. It was a full one, right? And in
Mm-hmm.
Mexico. And the third one, it was my dream to do one in my native state, Quebec, in Mont Tremblant. I got a bottle broken on my head there, so there was a spiritual significance to that one. It was like conquering challenge, right? It was a tough one, and I did that one with my ex co-founder, so it has a special significance. My parents could also be there. watch me, and I think I made my dad very proud for that one.
Oh wow, wow, great history. Seriously. So yes, I think when if I look to my list, I mean, I'm sticking to that experience because every time that you have experience like that, you change. You know, actually 2 weeks ago, I was invited to a ritual with ayahuasca and Charles. That was crazy. I mean, I didn't know I could find like this kind of connect with the nature and spirituality, but I found it, and definitely one of the experience like you're someone before and another one after. I do not know if have been in something like that.
Yes, a lot. I did actually, fun story, the same co-founder. I did my first ayahuasca and only, first and only ayahuasca trip. I did other things too, um, in Cusco, Peru. You in Brazil, I mean, that's the spot also to do it. It's like the Amazon jungle, right? And the shipibo and the shamans. And yeah, like for me, was it life changing? It was perspective changing for sure. But yeah, I had other ones like the DMT, in which you're completely cut out for 15, 30 minutes. You know, you're in another realm. That was interesting. I wouldn't describe it as life changing, but you know, the problem with me is I do these things on a schedule. So I have problems integrating. I found out even the 10-day silent retreats. So how is the integration process with you of like doing this thing and afterwards synthesizing the notes that you've taken physically or mentally and getting insights that you can transit your actual life?
Well, that's a great question actually, because at the end of the experience, I tried like someone at the ritual asked like, "What are you feeling? Like, what's your insight?" And I was just like, "Guys, can talk right now. Just hold on." And so during that, actually last week, it has been also was last Saturday. I kind of creating a list of all my insights, and one actually who is really powerful to me, it is if you want to get like more partners, become a better partner. You know, if you want to like get more friends, just became a better friend to the ones you already have. So was more like it's not about quantity in my life, it's more about the quality I do. So if I get into the Ironman, I just like going to appreciate all the training, all the because this is the hard part, you know, it isn't the match, isn't the competition. Like the competition is just drawing. Of course that is pain, as you know more than me. But the hard part is the training. So I just kind of create this gratitude about everything. Like I wake up like at the early morning and say like, I don't know, it's just fulfill of everything of gratitude just because it happens. So I think the inside is not about quantity, it's what about quality, and at the same as the companies, if I get it. I mean, I'm going to start to write my second book, Charles, about that, like what actually experiences, like life change experiences changed my way of perspective and become a better person, or to the community by feedbacks, because this is also important. And one of the lessons is that one. It's not about quality. It's not about quantity. It's about the quality. And another thing is just come down. I mean, how old are you, Charles?
29.
29? Okay, you're also before 30. I'm not sure how it's to you, but to me it's like fast, fast. It's not fast enough. Fast, 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 fast. So come down. Everything's going to happen. You know, not to chill, but it's just to become into a like really strong speed, but not in a rush. So I think also this apply to business. I mean, I always be provocative by should I start only a business at once, or should I start many or a few? And that depends. I mean, in my point of view, if you are able to start it and you have kind of this background in business already, if you can start an ecosystem to fulfill all the needs of a target or people, just do it. But if you're not, just start with the first step and come down. Look to the ones you can call to partners. And of course, need to be people brave as you. And as you told me about the world traveling, need to be courage and also need to be smart on that process, because it's like a lot of things, different cultures, and I think that is so rich. So always be open, uh, and really go to the flow. Like this Bruce Lee quote, become water.
Yeah. Well, okay. Couple of things here. So quality over quantity, yeah, that's a classic. Me, I'm contrarian. So quantity is quality when you aggregate it. And also quantity allows you to get quality. Both are interdependent, complementary. And I think people go way too much on quality. And quality, there's a diminishing return, It's like perfectionism. Oh, I'm having this test or I'm having this homework and need to work at it again and again, and I never deploy. And people create these egos, I need to be perfect. I need to be high quality always. I call bullshit on that. Me, it's all about speed. It's all about maximizing, not the short term, but the overall impact on my life. First, I have audesis. I don't think I'm gonna die in this life. I think pretty much gonna live forever. Someone's gonna kill me for some reason, and yeah, maybe I'm gonna be able to be revived because I'm gonna do good on this planet Earth mostly. Now, I do think that, yeah, like the dictum of you are the people you surround yourself with is bullshit. And to your point, well, I mean, it's not bullshit, but let me explain. To your point, I think you need to work on yourself before you can expect the best in others. That's the best way to have change in others. I don't also believe that you can get the perfect partner. Yeah, sure, people will come at some state at some points of your life, but I'd rather build myself and build others around me. That's my very long-term thesis, although I'm not bullish on humans. And why is the you are the five somewhat bullshit? And that comes from a guy that runs various CEO masterminds. I do believe in the importance of surrounding yourself with quality people from all life areas. It's just that first, you can never fully control your environment, right? If you're part of a society, you're part of a society. You pay taxes. You're in Brazil. I'm in Mexico. You'll always be around assholes, So my thesis is, again, internal locus of control on what you can change on your side, right? Control your habits, control your day to day, control your schedule, and so forth. And yeah, sometimes you will need to speak to people that you're not in accordance with, but that either by choice or not by choice, you have to deal with them on a daily basis, right? The barista that serves you the coffee, even your parents and your family members. Now, one last thing here, when it comes to the speed, on my side, yes, I'm all about speed, but I think I invest quite a lot in my long term. I'm still quite some time away from my competition, a quote unquote, which would be Elon Musk, but I'm also patient, and I invest a lot in my long term. And sometimes, and I think that's my demon, it's like, yeah, I'm not accomplishing enough, and I'm trying to overcompensate by being salesy, quote unquote, and generating more leads and so forth. So I think it's a balance. I think it's somewhat of an healthy balance, because if I would be only long term, I'd be dead broke, and that at some point, not having wealth would negatively impact me. But yeah, I invest quite a lot in the long term, and it's not necessarily about maximizing out my short-term returns. And yes, I did have a bunch of goals like, oh, be a millionaire by 30 and so forth. But also, I think we need to revisit the significance of that and these goals. And it's not all about wealth. It's also about other life equilibrium. It's also about your external environment and a bunch of things you don't control, right? The economy, for example, this year is quite crappy. I do control a bunch of things, but I do not control that. What do you think about these elements?
Well, if you look to like microeconomy and stuff like that, everything as entrepreneur, I always look to the opportunity or it's a challenge, So it's everything is a challenge is a new opportunity. I just had this call on my during the university that was like, while people are crying, there's someone selling fishes. I think that's the English word, right? So yeah,
Vicious?
I don't remember the word. It's like this paper when someone is like crying.
Oh, tissues. Yeah.
Tissues, exactly. So I'm the one who look to how can I sell tissues. And of course, about the external environment, I mean, I think we are, especially in Brazil, we are full of opportunities because we are not a war country. So we're not like doing actually giving a shit of what's happening. We're just like, okay, Russians, okay, US, okay, Canada, doesn't matter. I mean, we always have been friendly and it doesn't matter what's going on. And if you look to this, so it's also an opportunity. And I always try to focus on my, of course, what the things I can control. I'm not going to change the politician's way. So it doesn't matter which the government is it's going to, but I can change my company or how many clients do I have. And if you look to the free will, that's something that you said about the like the average of who actually you work or you being for. I do believe in that quote. I mean, in a way, because the reason that we can speak to like that to say about leads, to the quantity of the leads that you own or all your mindset, it's kind of came from someone, or it could be a book, for example, so a mentor that doesn't actually live anymore or something. So I always pay attention on my like brothers, what he's reading or what his friends saying and stuff like that, because in a way I think that kind of create your mindset. So I just think that free will is kind of limited, but if you look to this experience that we share or people that always kind of open your mind to a new perspective, a new way of thinking, I think this is truly value. And one thing that I learned from those last years is if someone says something to you that doesn't make sense, just hold and grab it. Because I don't know, perhaps in a year or 2 years later, it can make sense. So we never know. Just be prepared to kind of, input this whenever you think is you're open to. And by the time of the quality that I mentioned before is, I always put at the beginning, I mean, like 2 years from now, I have been sleeping 4 to 5 hours a day at the good days. So I always like, okay, I can do that meeting if I take 1 hour less. I can put that run if I get one hour less. So was all about like more and less and kind of control what actually I'm going to do with my schedule. And by quality, I kind of changed that not only to put 5 to 6 hours because I changed that, but also the quality of my sleeping. And if you put to the schedule, it's like, okay, you have a wife nowadays, so what are you going to do to be a better husband this week? As also to my partner. So I kind of don't want to put this on the idea I plan, but more in the action plan. Like how can I be a better brother? How can I be a better son? How can I be a better dad? Or something like that. So I always put this on my schedule, but during Sunday. So that's something I think is important to performance. Not only the quantity of leads, but also the quality. So how can I turn more leads into into sales? If you look to the AI, for example, that's going to change our productivity because crypto, as you know, changed the way that we actually sell and buy things. Of course, it's about money. AI is changing the way that we work. So we can and we have this opportunity to become more productive. So I just want to join it to get more quantity of time and quality of life.
Right.
Does it make sense?
It does. I've been onto that too. And there's ways I think to improve quality, you need to be like some kind of specialist, be really good though, because sleep, even 5 to 6 hours is tough to optimize. Me, I call it season. I think I'm being a bit more honest with myself here because I'm sleeping 5 to 6 hours also nowadays. And I'm not bullshitting myself. I'm not reaching the same sleep quality as I was scientifically, right? I have Nora Ring to prove it, that my sleep quality is shit nowadays. But I'm being honest with myself here. I think it's a season. It's part of the plan, And I think if you have your eyes on the plan and you're executing on that plan, you're doing what you're supposed to. And this experiment of mine, I'll be taking it to tuition pretty soon. I won't be fully stopping it, but I'll be modifying my thesis so that I can start re-executing on something soon enough, which is, for example, yesterday I slept 8, 9, 10 hours, that was a long time. Today I feel good, right? But there's some days at the week before my wedding in which I was hustling and I had light amnesia. I had light dyslexia. I mean, I'm not dyslexic at all, right? But I would inverse words sometimes very lightly, not enough for anyone to notice. But that's like my brain being overworked, right? 15 COs interviews per day. Like 5 interviews would fry most people's brain, right? So I think, yeah, once you have a plan and you're honest and clear with that, with yourself, if you're executing on that, and if this is part of the plan, part of the experiment, then it's fine, you know. But let me ask you that question. Are you operating in full capacity on 5 hours of sleep a day?
I'm not sure to be frank with you, Charles. I mean nowadays yes, but I also slept 7 hours last night. So I think it's more about necessity. It's more about listen to yourself. I also agree with that. But before, when I was sleeping 4 hours, I thought I was in my max capacity until I sleep 6 hours. But I'm not like relaxing enough with 8. I think this is just too much my control. I don't
Yeah,
think that's worth these 2 hours is not worth of the it doesn't change so
there you
much the
go.
quality of the rest of it, you know,
Well,
so it's kind
the
of
question is this 2 hours being used at a better happiness ROI if that is your goal, or money ROI if that is your goal, you know? And in my case, I can tell you that the 5 to 6 hours, the 2 to 3 to 4 hours that I'm cutting on a daily basis are worth it. They did make me happier. They did make me smarter. They were a very long-term investment in terms of wealth, in terms of my knowledge, in terms of me interviewing very cool people and so forth. So that's a nice way to justify it, and not necessarily your brain performance, although the brain and performance are very important for me. But also, one thing that is quite important is to A/B test, because you know, you and I were talking pre-interview about our exchange students, right? So when I was in Hong Kong, it was the worst time zone with EST in Montreal. It was 12 hours. Okay, so I was operating, let's say the 9 to 5, right? The 9 to 5, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. was 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Okay, so I would get to bed at 5 a.m. every day in Hong Kong. So when the sun would come up. And yeah, there was all kinds of conditions there. But back in these days, I was A/B testing polyphasic sleep schedules. I've been a biohacker since the past decade. My first business was a nootropic for the brain. Always entertained that obsession. And I A/B tested the polyphasic sleep schedule, which is 4 hours of sleep. And then you have a siesta of 30 to 60 minutes. How was that for my brain for 3 months? Not ideal. it was it was not ideal at all, you know, especially with this schedule. I did crunch 16 hours a day work, and I also A/B tested that work time. Then I went from 7 years when I travel with my wife to very high lifestyle, right? Luxury Airbnbs, a lot of spending, having fun, traveling the world, and sleeping a lot. And this year, I met with my buddies. With I had a mushroom ceremony at the beginning of this year, and their main insight was, you'd be surprised of how much you're able to accomplish on few sleep, on that little sleep. And I was like, yeah, this is right. I've been kind of cruising the last couple of years. So this year, I've been hustling the fuck out of myself again, back to the 16-hour work days. So that's what I'm talking about with season and experimenting, you know. So just like A/B testing and see what they do for you.
Yes, 100%. I totally get you. I never tried this kind of, and I also have this 1 hour, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 15 minutes, but I think I can like shut down so fast. So it not working for me. I mean, I love biohacking, studying, and you asked like, what about my life goals? And of course, the first one is like to retire it in a way, like by the 30s or something like, and have luxury trips as you did. I'm kidding. Not my kind of thing. But also after that, I just wanted to focus. And the reason that I'm speaking that to you is because you interview a lot of CEOs, so probably a few of them can join. But I do believe that the world is changed by education, or at least some level of conscience. of each one. And I just want to kind of create this school. Can be a method or after school program. Really don't know how can we can draw that. But to teach children or teenagers to try new things. Like, yeah, just do it. Like, uh, take an Ironman to do it. I mean, I'm not saying that you should be patient to it, but just do it. You know, the mental challenge, the resilience that you get, you know what, Charles? In my first Ironman, one day before it was in Italy, so I just got my bike, went go to Italy, and I was just like this anxiety to my first competition and stuff. And my coach called me, and he said like, you know, I'm just seeing your last running, your last tests, and I think you're not ready. You should not go. They're like, what? I'm here already. They're like, you should just wait to your friend. I was with Thiago, my friend, one of my mentors. So like, just wait at the end of the line. So they're like, what? I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm also like have two little brothers. So what actually that's going to do with my security, like my courage? So what I'm going to tell them, like I went there and I didn't actually start it. So I think it's not about the Ironman itself, it's about the challenge, the resilience, and I finished it better than I thought. That was the plan. So I think we can create this kind of school that we can provoke new life to think better and also find the way. I mean, financial education, life changing, and this whole kind of I think it's more like CEOs or high executives in a way that care about that. I don't know. You tell me.
I think Ironmans are amazing. I think we need a round two because I need to run. Where can people find out more about you until then?
Okay, so they I need to prepare to my second one. I mean, the next one, and you it's an invitation to you also. It's like this privacy. I don't know what that's called, but it's like 7 island. So you climb, you run, you swim, you climb and run, swim in 7 island. I really want to do that after my marathon, my ultra marathon. It's going to be awesome.
Well, let's schedule one together, bud. I like doing that with my guest. Scheduling an ultra run together or scheduling an Ironman. That's like habit, right? So, and that would mean that I'm scheduling at least one of these crazy events per month, 12 per years with random strangers that I don't know. So, let's make a commitment. I'll come to Brazil. You don't even need to move.
Well, that's great. I mean, if you don't come, I'll go to Canada to get you.
Mexico.
Or Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico has great ones. Here it's a great country. A lot of people do not see it the way it is, and Mexicans have it in their bloods running. They're little warriors, little Aztec warriors. They don't give up. They have very strong mentality. Yeah, I would love to have you here. And yeah, thank you for talking today. That was João Fouad and Charles Cormier for another founderwisdompodcast.com.